Well, good afternoon, everyone. It's always a pleasure in the middle of the afternoon, maybe when you're hitting that spot in the afternoon where you just need a pick-me-up, to be able to bring you a live and direct session with a WYEP studio audience, no less. Fine members of this radio station. I'm Rosemary, and I am thrilled to welcome Declan McKenna. And Declan, you are not alone today.
No, I've got my guitar player, Isabel Torres, with me today.
Welcome, both of you.
Thank you for having us.
We have a sold-out show at Mr. Small's tonight, so this is kind of a real treat for those who weren't fast enough on the ticket.
You had to be quick.
Yeah, you do, and it's only going to get better from here. So if you can start us off with a tune, Declan, we'd be thrilled.
I'm sure this is Make Me Your Queen. I know that I mean nothing to you, babe. Oh, I tried my best to keep these thoughts away. Oh, I try to speak and there's nothing left to say, 'cause I mean nothing to you, babe. I know that I mean nothing to you, dear. If ever I stop by, you're never here. And I don't mean I know you've made that clear, 'cause I mean nothing to you, dear. Oh dear, so make me your queen. So make me your queen. I know that I mean nothing to you, babe. I'm in your grip from which I can't escape, and I can't help but think that I might maybe not mean nothing to you, babe. So make me your queen. So make me your queen. Oh, it's all too much to take. I'm awake, I'm awake. I feel false and I feel fake, but I'm awake, I'm awake. It ain't hard to get sick of my I'm asymmetrical. Get over it for goodness sake. I'm awake, I'm awake. So make me your queen. 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 Oh, it's all too much to take. I'm awake, I'm awake.
91.3 WYEP, we're live and direct with Declan McKenna. You know, I think the last time you were in town, from what I could tell, was 3-4 years ago.
Quite a while, yeah.
And in the meantime, when you come back after a pandemic and not a lot of touring, you immediately sell out Mr. Smalls. And it makes me think about, there's so many different ways now that you can reach an audience. You can go viral, on all these different social media sites, and, certainly Spotify can help. Well, how important is it, though, to just get in front of people, even if it's, 500 people, 5,000 people? How important is it to have that kind of connection?
Yeah, it's kind of what it's all about, really. And it changes things for as an artist and as someone who appreciates music as well. It's just like it's something that, regardless of how the sort of state of content and sharing music or whatever changes, it's something that, or it's a desire from like a fan's point of view that can't really be messed with, that can't really be taken away, and as a performer as well, it's kind of something that almost sometimes makes like a record or a song feel real, and sometimes you don't even really know what you're doing with a set of songs until you start playing it live, and until you start seeing like what it means to people, and it kind of keeps. If you didn't have that, you wouldn't keep breathing new life into the tracks, but like it actually kind of is part of what keeps them like fresh for me, like as someone who makes music, is partially seeing what it is for other people, and also like discovering myself through just like playing it different ways and adapting it as it goes on. It's like an irreplaceable part of the whole thing, really. It's made such a difference being able to get out and tour again.
And you do, I would imagine, you grow as both a musician and a performer when you're in front of an audience. It's a major thing that happens there on stage. So I want to go. Some people, it seems like they're born to it. They're just born. They have to be on stage. There's some people who work at it a little bit. What camp do you fall in?
I think I always liked being on stage. I just think it's something different for me now, though. Like when I was younger, I would always want to get up, whether I was acting or whatever. I'd just try and be involved and be on stage. But really now it's something a little bit more profound than that. You kind of like it's a combination of like of the wanting to be up there, but also something that you work on, because it's to sort of be an authentic performer, you have to like give away a certain amount of yourself like up on stage, and so that's like not necessarily something that just comes right away, or maybe it is and you lose it a little bit along the way and you have to kind of find it again, and like it's just it's a real journey, and like what it is for me and how I sort of feel about getting up always just changes. But yeah, I think anyone who sort of knew me when I was a child would probably say I fall into the always kind of wanted to be on stage category.
Well, Declan, you're talking about that fine line. A part of that fine line is knowing when to hold back as well. And you don't get everything. Something has to be protected as well. And you were a kid. I mean, you were really, really young when you started having this huge success. Well, you're 15, 16 years old. How do you have any sense of what that line is at that age?
No, I used to sort of crowd surf out 3 times a show, so it's just a different thing altogether. The lines of like what what is too much as a performer are different, but I mean it was a bit of a whirlwind, all of that, like at such a young age, but at the same time I really wanted to do it, and I wouldn't just have so much experience with it now if I hadn't been thrown into the deep end. There's no simple way of starting touring or easy way of getting into it. Like there's always like pretty rough beginning for anyone who's like starting a career in music or touring, because there's just so many layers to it. A lot of just like you're not exactly living a life of luxury from the off. So it's like it has its challenges, and that kind of like builds you up, I guess, and to sort of carry on and teaches you that like not to crowd surf that many times in one evening. It kind of gets a bit tiring for the crowd, and you hurt people as well, and you're like, okay, I need to stop doing that.
I got news for you. As you get older, it hurts you. So,
It already does. My back is killing me.
so you were like 15 or 16 when you went to Glastonbury. You win the emerging musician competition. Did they put you on stage in front of the huge audience? Was that part of that whole deal?
So yeah, like the actual competition is a few months before Glastonbury. So then the whole everyone who's part of the competition plays at this great little stage at Glastonbury called the Rabbit Hole. At least that's what we did that year, and I'm pretty sure they carried on doing that. But then the like, you know, the winning slot is like a slot on one of the main stages. I actually wound up playing on the Williams Green, which is like kind of smaller stage. But then each year, kind of like, they've just been so good to us, Glastonbury, because I've kind of been a big part of the journey. And each year we did the like Park stage, the John Peel, like, and we just last year did the other stage. So like, I had that quite small beginning, but each year they've like, yeah, we've had one of these amazing stages to perform on, and because I've been so many times now, it's so exciting every time going back, because I've seen so many great gigs on all of those stages now. So, but yeah, that was a wild experience of my first Glastonbury. Was actually sort of getting to perform there. And
well, at that point in time, you have to say, I guess I'm going to make music for a living. This is serious.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard not to kind of throw yourself completely into it at that point, because it's like, why not? You know, I was still kind of studying at the time, but that eventually sort of ended.
Well, you're studying something new now.
The School of Life started educating me after that.
So Declan McKenna is here, and we have other things to talk about, including a very popular song that we'll get to a little bit later on. So for those of you out there saying, is she going to ask him about that song? I will ask him about that song. But
like first, a Rolling Stone.
That one, yeah, that's one of your best. But we're going to have you do a couple more tunes. If you just tuned in, it is Declan McKenna.
All right. This one's called My House. So far from your home, nothing to spend my paper currency on. The big man said city life, get her in the city for good. I ain't allowed to step a foot out of my neighborhood, no, but I don't mind, I don't mind. When I see you looking back over the line like that, I wanna be someone you've never seen before. You're gonna make me run from my house, over from my house. You, when I see you looking at me on the line like that, I wanna be somewhere I'm not allowed to go. I'm gonna run from my house, over from my house. Such a lovely building, microwave oven and a hot tub to chill in. You could call me up if you got something to say. I can have something to say. I can only get out of here once today. I don't mind, I don't mind. 'Cause when I see you looking at me on the line like that, I wanna be someone you've never seen before. You're gonna make me run from my house, over from my house. You, when I see you looking at me on the line like that, I wanna be somewhere I'm not allowed to go. I'm gonna run from my house, over from could stay for good. You could run a mile, or you could stay for good. This one's called Daniel, You're Still a Child. Daniel, you did it. You made me cry. You spent 10 days in bed when I asked you why and requested my whereabouts through tweets. Darling, why do you bury yourself in sheets? Well, I told you there's unrest in the House of Lords, written on sandwich boards outside the shop where they sell your favorite drink. So what you think you're doing, telling people lies? Well, hope's going like Christmas pies, and it's never gonna stop you turning pink. Daniel, you know what you wanted to, find a place on your own like you always do find. Bear in mind, Daniel, you're still a child. Well, Daniel's gone running, the trail's gone cold. You've been acting quite strangely since 10 years old. And when you were 11, they said you ought to pray to high heaven. You don't get caught. Well, Daniel, don't worry, you won't be missed. You'll spend 10 years in prison to pay for this time. Is it all worthwhile? Daniel, you're still a child. You've got a death wish, child, 5 cans of pesticide to drink. 4:30 Western time, the boy's been arrested. Why'd you think? Daniel, you're still a child. Daniel, you're still a child. Thanks very much.
91.3 WYEP live and direct with Declan McKenna, a sold-out show tonight at Mr. Small's. You know, one of the things that a lot of musicians face when you start off in, say, the UK and you start, touring Europe, there's the behemoth across the ocean. the good old U.S. of A. How important is it for you to slay that dragon and start, claiming your space here?
I mean, kind of been coming to America like as soon as anything was sort of kicking off for me in the music world. Like I've been coming out here, so it's always been like, somewhere I've wanted to come and play shows, because it's just a completely sort of different game to touring in the UK or even Europe. Like there's just so much of it. So yeah, it's important and it's great, and we've had a lot of just like, love out here. Every time I've come out, met people who love the music, and just, I don't know, that's kind of reason enough. But yeah, also, I mean, I guess America's been a big part of the creative process as well, because I've spent time, we were out in Nashville recording my second album with Jay Joyce, and various times been in California working on music as well. So like, just like from the start, really, it's haven't been able to get away really, apart from obvious periods of time. We've just been, it's always been important to be out here.
So I'm going to go way back now.
Okay.
You're the youngest of 6 kids, right?
I am, yeah.
Okay, so there's always lots of influences when there's so many people ahead of you on that family ladder, and I noticed there's a strong element of glam rock in your performances on stage. So tell me about some of those. Where does some of that come from? That, is it just from older siblings? Is it your parents encouraging you to check things out?
I'm not gonna lie, it's not solely due to like older generations of people that I've listened to, sort of glam rock and things. My dad definitely got me into like a lot of classic rock. His favourite band are Wishbone Ash, and went to see them a few times when I was younger, and we're listening to all of that sort of stuff. But Bowie and T-Rex actually came into my life sort of as a teenager, really, and it was probably more to do with like my friends and things. And I think the reason why I've always been into different kinds of music is really that was what it was like at home. My older brothers were listening to like the sort of noughties indie. There's a big scene in the UK. There's also a lot out here, the Strokes and that. And my sisters were listening to all different kinds of stuff. My mum was listening to all different kinds of stuff. So just having that many people with different sort of tastes around from a young age, I think, was a big part of it. And the fact that everyone was into music. But then, some of the stuff that's become like directly influential, I have to thank a lot of my friends for that as well. Introducing me to it, and my own curiosity, I guess.
And your family, we were originally from Ireland and came to the UK?
My grandparents did. So like on both sides, my family is like Irish, so all my cousins are Irish and everything.
Lots of influences in there.
Yeah. I know. To be honest, as I get older, the more I kind of feel influenced by like a lot of trad stuff, and just a lot of Irish music generally. Really, there's a lot of great rock bands even from Ireland. So that's, I think the record that I've made now, or that I'm sort of just finishing now, is like has a slightly more Irish folk sort of feel to some of the sort of guitar playing, the sort of like.
So we have something to look forward to.
Little fiddly bits, basically.
So,
Yeah.
so you've got an album coming, is what you're telling us?
Well, yeah, it's not. I haven't got a release date or anything. I've just been working on it tirelessly.
Okay, well, now we're going to get to the question that everybody wants to talk about, and that is the song Brazil. I teased you a little earlier that's like, this is your Over the Rainbow. Wherever you go, people expect you to sing it.
Yeah.
And it has to be pretty wild. First of all, you have to tell me how it felt when it first took off, because you were really young, and I'm sure you didn't expect it to take off the way that it did. First of all, what is the song about?
Well, it's a song I wrote when I was 15, and really the crux of it is that I was writing about the FIFA World Cup and the sort of corruption surrounding it, mainly the sort of FIFA organisation, but I kind of turned it into these characters that kind of make up the song, that is a little bit more playful than someone just talking about bunch of sort of boardroom guys. But yeah, that's kind of what originally inspired it.
And you're sitting in your room creating this song. It gets out there, and then it blows up internationally.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of blown up in stages. So like, I haven't really had a chance to get over it because like, you know, as soon as the radio kind of was done with it, I wasn't done with it, but like TikTok then started coming around and gave it another sort of lease of life. So it's like been one of those songs that has just always found a way to be out there. But initially, it was kind of the thing that got picked up by labels and then led to, you know, me coming out here for the first time ever when I was like 17, I think. I came out for my first trip to America. I'd never really even been to America, and you know, I was doing sort of radio shows and different gigs just on my own, and yeah, it just never really let up. So it's cool. It's a strange thing, but like I don't even know, like there's no real concept of where I would sort of what I would be doing now without that song, because it really just like started everything and has like continued to be like the sort of ring in the Lord of the Rings. You just can't really destroy it or make it go away. But I'm fine with it.
Well, I'm glad you're fine with it, because everywhere you go, you know, it has to be wild to look out in the audience, especially if you are somewhere where you've never been, and you see people singing your song.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I mean, it's kind of, again, it's what it's all about, you know. It's kind of like you get to see people enjoying it, and people don't even realise the amount of times I've sort of heard people not even realising they're at the person who sings Brazil's gig, and then they hear that song and they're like, oh, okay, that's who this guy is. And that's great. Because, I mean, I don't know if that means they're enjoying it or not, but, like, it's at least a connection.
well, I think we've given it enough build-up. What do you think?
Yeah,
Shall
sure. Why not?
Shall we do it?
We'll play it. We weren't going to play that one. I heard you sold the Amazon to show the country that you're from. It's where the world should want to be, for to find something our people need. I'm faithless now, though we win every time, and I don't know how, 'cause I haven't bought you and I haven't sold me. But the people are dying to get on TV. I heard he lives down a river somewhere with 6 cars and a grizzly bear. He's got eyes, but he can't see. Well, he talks like an angel, but he looks like me. Oh, Lord, what have I become? I'm the face of God. I'm my father's son. I'm not. What you think you see? I know you got 11, but you can't stop me. Why would you lie? Why would you lie about how you feel? I've got a mission, and my mission is real, because you've had your chances, you've had enough. I'm gonna burn your house down to spread peace and love, and it gets me down. Oh Lord, how it gets me down. I heard he lives down a river somewhere with 6 cars and a grizzly bear. He's got eyes, but he can't see. Well, he talks like an angel, but he looks like me. Oh Lord. it's all you've ever wanted. It's all that you want still. But you wanna play the beautiful game out in Brazil. I wanna play the beautiful game out in Brazil, 'cause everybody plays the beautiful game out in Brazil. And it's all you've ever wanted, it's all that you want still. But you wanna play the beautiful game out in Brazil. I heard he lives down a river somewhere with 6 cars and a grizzly bear. He's got eyes, but he can't see. Well, he talks like an angel, but he looks like me. Oh Lord, I heard he lives down a river somewhere with 6 cars and a grizzly bear. He's got eyes, but he can't see. Well, it talks like an angel, but he looks like me. Thanks very much.
Well, folks, it's too late to get tickets for Mr. Smalls because they're sold out tonight. So the next time, get your running shoes on whenever you hear that Declan McKenna is coming to town. And make sure that you check out his music. Declan, thank you very much for your time
Yeah,
today.
thanks for having us. It's been great.